Hello, yogis. Welcome to your chair yoga practice today. Hope you're doing well. Let's get started in our opening pose of our seated Shavasana, where you can relax your back into the chair, turn the palms of the hands to face up for more energy, palms down for more calm or more grounding. Then you can close the eyes if that feels comfortable, and feel your body just melt into the chair. Give yourself permission that for your practice, you'll do whatever feels good to you. And let's start to find our Ujjayi breath. Breathing in and out through the nose if that's open and comfortable. Feeling the breath in and out of the deep part of the belly region. And then adding that soothing sound to your breath, both on the inhales and the exhales. And maybe affixing your mind to that sound so you can stay in the present moment of your practice. Let's just take a couple more deep rounds of breath here, maybe feeling the body relax a little bit more. Then let's draw the palms of the hands together at your heart center, the center of your chest. And if you'd like to set an intention or a dedication for your practice, go ahead and do so at this time. And then if the eyes are closed, let's open the eyes. Namaste. Let's sit upright and tall into our chair, scooch a little bit more towards the front of the chair. Come into our seated mountain pose, shoulders drop back and down over the hips, head pulled back over the tailbone. Let's draw those arms out to the side. Turn the palms to face forward, spread those fingers, the palms of the hands, so you get a nice stretch there. And then on the inhale, let's slowly circle those arms out and up, or forward and up, and then exhale, hands to the heart. Let's do a few more rounds. Inhale, arms out and up, adjusting if you need to for any shoulder concerns. Exhale, hands to the heart. And always remember to modify or skip anything that doesn't feel good. Take breaks as needed. And if you do feel any unusual symptoms, stop immediately and seek medical care. Just do what feels good for your body. Let's draw those hands back to your heart and then place the hands onto the thighs. A few rounds of our cow cat. Inhaling just a slight arch in the spine, stretch it out the chest, and then exhaling round through the spine, moving into cat pose. Inhaling our cow pose and exhale into cat. Let's just do a couple more times, maybe even keeping the eyes closed so you can bring your awareness inside and just see how the spine's doing, how the muscles along the front and the back of the body are doing. And then let's finish this cat pose and then return to that tall way of sitting. Draw the shoulders up and then pull them down. And then relax those arms down by the sides. Let's get a few turns of the hands just to feel some stretch for the wrists. And then change the direction of your hand circles. And then let's relax those hands back onto the thighs. Let's turn the head over to one direction. Get an easy stretch for the neck. Taking a moment or a couple rounds of breath here. Noticing if you're shifting also. Keep the shoulders pointing forward and level, and let's draw the head through center over to the other side. Get a nice easy stretch on this side. Noticing if you're starting to side bend, keep that spine in neutral, engaging through those core muscles. And then let's draw the head back to center. Let's lift those arms forward or forward and up to a comfortable point. Move the shoulders down. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, I'll mirror you. So let's release your right arm down, out, and then down, coming just into a gentle side bend. So you can come up a little bit higher if you need to. And then your left arm still stays up towards the ceiling or forward if you need to adjust for your shoulders. Let's draw your right arm back up, engaging through the sideways, and then over to the other side. Gentle side bend, reaching it out and then down. So find a side bend that's comfortable. Bottom half of the body stays still and stable in your chair. And then using the core, the strength of the arms, draw the arm back up. Take an inhale and then exhale, side bend. Inhale back up and then exhale over to the other side. Feeling some warmth into the shoulders. One more time on each side. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, back up. And then exhale, side bend. Let's come back to center. Move the shoulders down, turn the palms to face forward, and start to bend at the elbows, finding cactus arms to a comfortable point. So if you need to draw them a little bit lower, feel free. Draw the shoulders down, take an inhale, sit up tall, and then exhale. Let's start to twist to one direction. We're just going to hold here for an extra round of breath, noticing if the hands are coming together. Try to keep those hands nice and wide, and then slowly draw yourself back to center, and then over to the other side. Twisting from the navel up, feeling the rib cage start to turn, breathing here, and then let's come back to center. Take an inhale, exhale, twist, inhale to center, exhale, twist. So just a nice, small, easy twist. One more time on each side. Keep feeling the shoulders melt down. And then last time on this side, you should feel some work happening in those arms. Come back to center. Slowly release those arms down. Let's do a few shoulder circles, drawing the shoulders up and back a few times in this direction, and then change the direction of your shoulder circles. And then let's relax those shoulders down. Draw those arms forward. Keep moving the shoulders down. Inhale, open the arms out to a comfortable point. Maybe back behind you if that feels good. And then exhale, draw them back. Let's cross your right arm over the left, just to a comfortable point. You'll feel a stretch along the back of the shoulders and the upper back. Inhale, open it out to that comfortable point. And then exhale, opposite arm on top. 2 more times. Inhale to open. Exhale, cross, alternating the arms that come on top. Inhale to open, and then exhale, cross. And then let's open up those arms one more time, and then relax them down, shake them out. Lots of good arm work for today. And then let's step the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Make sure you're sitting a little bit more towards the front edge of the chair. And we'll do some push-ups or some press-ups. So hands on the thighs above the knee, and then keep the arms, the elbows alongside the body. Strong flat back. We'll hinge forward at the hips. So elbows stay in and hinging forward to your comfortable point. Feel that the weight of the upper body is pressing into the hands, the backs of the arms are working, and then let's start to press into the hands to upright. So we're not using any energy in the core or the back of the body, except just to keep that spine long and strong flat back. All the work's happening in the chest and the arms. Hinge forward at the hips, press into the hands, find your depth, move the shoulders to the hips, and then press into the hands or push up into the hands to come back up. Let's inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, press back up. Inhale, hinge forward. And exhale, press back up. And then go ahead and release. Let's place the hands back onto the thighs and then round through the spine. You can even draw the fingertips down towards the shins if that feels good. Maybe a little left and right movement if that feels good to stretch out the back of the body. And then let's upright and scooch back into your chair so we can warm up the legs and do a little bit of core work there too. So our standard warm-up, we'll lift one foot off and start to circle the foot, just nice and slowly, easily, a few times in one direction. Change the direction of your foot circle. And then inhale, press it forward, straighten the leg, draw the toes up to the ceiling or back towards you. And then exhale, draw it in as high as this is comfortable to stretch out the hips. Inhale, press it forward, don't lock out the knee. And then exhale, draw it in, and then one more time, inhale, press it forward, and exhale, draw it in. And then let's start that little circle of the knees, or feeling the openness of the hip, and then change the direction of the circle. Size of the circle is up to you and your body. And then let's move over to the other side, lift the foot, a few turns in one direction, see if there's any cracks, change the direction of your foot circle, and then inhale, press it forward, and then exhale, draw it in. So 2 more times, feeling the strength of the leg as you straighten it, feeling the stretch of the leg as you draw it in. Inhale, and exhale, draw it in. And then let's start those circles, those knee circles or those hip circles, finding your range of motion on this side. And then let's change the direction of that circle. And then place that foot down. Let's do a little bit of core work. So we'll lean back into the chair, and the hands can be on the seat of the chair for a little bit more support. Really focus on engaging through those lower belly muscles. So you can place your hand right underneath your navel and then feel that squeeze. So try to squeeze those muscles right underneath that hand. So that's our lower belly muscles. We'll keep that squeeze there, and then you can place your hands back underneath the chair if you need more support. And we'll start to lift that. We'll start with your right thigh as high as you can comfortably without your hands, up towards your chest, feeling the squeeze of those lower belly muscles, and then releasing it back down. Take an inhale to relax those lower belly muscles. And then as you exhale, squeeze those lower belly muscles and try to use those muscles to lift that opposite leg up. You'll use your leg muscles too and your hip flexors, but we want to focus on working those lower belly muscles. Inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Any height, up to you. Inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze and lift. And then one more time on each side. Remember, you can even keep that foot on the floor if you need to. Just feel the squeeze. And last time. And then go ahead and release. Let's bring ourselves back forward. Let's widen the feet a little bit wider than the chair, supported forward fold, forearms onto the thighs. If it is okay on your body to go lower, you're welcome to, as long as you feel supported with your hands on the legs or on the floor. And then let's place the hands onto the thighs, elbows in. We'll roll up the spine, still pressing into the hands, making the hands and the arms and the chest do all the work. And then let's step our feet a little bit wider than the hips, coming into our sit to stands of up to 5 times. Option 1, with that strong core, strong flat back, hinge forward at the hips, press into the heels as if you're going to stand up. Just hold that energy there, feel the work of the legs and your bottom, and then release and come back, making sure that the knees don't go past the toes and they track towards the center of the toes. If you are good to come all the way up to standing, making sure those knees are in that proper position, hinge forward, slowly rise on up, maintaining that strong flat back the whole time as best as you can. To come down, hinge forward at the hips, bend those knees, draw your bottom back behind you, reach for the chair, and softly release back down. So whichever option works best for your body for today. It's been a little hot, so please manage your energy appropriately. Take water breaks as you need, and feel free to skip anything that doesn't feel good to your body. Let me do one more just to make sure I've covered at least 5, but you're welcome to do as many feels good to your body. All right. So if you'd like to do the standing poses, carefully come to a standing position behind your chair. If you'd prefer to stay seated, then you're welcome to stay seated in your chair and do as much as you can of the standing poses. All right, let's come into our standing mountain pose. Draw the shoulders back. Turn the palms to face forward, engaging through the core, those thighs, separating those feet, hip bone distance apart, even a little bit wider, all 10 toes pointing as forward as you can. And let's draw the shoulders back. And then just take a moment to feel the power of the pose and also to feel the alignment from the inside out. So shoulders over the hips, head pulled back over the tailbone, bottom of the chin parallel to the floor as best as you can. And then let's turn the palms to face back towards us and inhale, arms forward and up. And then exhale, draw the arms back and up without changing the position of the spine. Inhale, arms forward and up. Maybe lift the heels if you feel comfortable, if you feel balanced. And then exhale, drop back behind you. Remember, feel free to skip if you need to. Inhale, maybe lift the hips as you lift the arms. And then as you exhale, let's start to bend those knees, almost like coming into chair pose. Draw your bottom back behind you, coming into kind of a mini chair pose. So make sure those knees don't go past the toes. They track towards the center of the toes. And then inhale, stand up tall, arms forward and up. Maybe heels lift. And then exhale, relax those heels down, coming back into your chair. Let's do one more time, feeling the work of those legs. Inhale to lift, stretch it out, and then exhale back behind you. And then let's come back to a standing position behind the chair. And then let's circle those arms out and up or forward and up. Coming into our half sun salute, exhale, soft bend in the knees, hands onto the chair. Come into your forward fold, elbows alongside the body. Inhale, halfway lift, pressing into the hands, and then exhale, releasing into your fold. The depth is up to you. And then let's press all the way up, strong flat back, arms out or forward and up. And then exhale, hands to the heart, fingertips onto the chair. Let's step the left foot back, coming into our high crescent pose. So separate those feet at least hip width distance apart or wider. Start to bend the right knee, stack and track it towards the center of the toes and freeze it there. And then start to straighten that left leg. So feel the power of the leg and feel a nice stretch there. Move the shoulders down. So the body is angled forward, hinging forward at the hips. You're welcome to stay here with the hands on the chair for support. If you'd like a little bit more, really engage through the core muscles, maybe draw one arm forward, maybe two. Draw the shoulders down. So lots of work, squeeze those outer hips in. Breathe, find your Ujjayi breath, and then release those fingertips down. And then let's step it forward. Come back into our half sun salute. Inhale, arms out and up or forward and up. And then exhale, soft bend in those knees. Come into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Extend the spine. Exhale, release. Forward fold. Let's rise all the way up. Elbows alongside the body, shoulders back, arms out and up. And then exhale, hands to the heart, onto the chair. Step the right foot back. High crescent pose. All 10 toes pointing as forward as you can. Bend the left knee, stack, track it towards the center of the toes. Freeze it there. Strong in this right leg. And then draw the shoulders down. So hinging a little bit forward at the hips. Really tighten up through the core. So lots of work for the core and the legs. Tighten up through this left outer hip area as well. And maybe you're staying here with the arms relatively straight, feeling some support here. If you'd like a little bit more, maybe one arm lifts, maybe two. Draw the shoulders back down towards the hips, breathing here. And then slowly release those hands down and step it forward. One more half sun salute. Inhale, arms out or forward and up. Exhale, soft bend in the knees, hinge it forward to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And then rise all the way up. Strong flat back, bending those knees. If you need, arms out and up, and then hands to the heart and back onto the chair. Let's move into our downward facing dog. Step the feet back to your comfortable point, soft bend in the knees and release. So if you'd prefer to stay a little bit higher, you can, keeping the chest a little bit higher. If it is okay on your body to release a little bit lower, keep those hips over the heels, elbows release down, and get just a nice stretch. So a comfortable stretch that feels good. And if you'd like, you can pedal through the legs a little bit. You can bend those knees really deeply. So depending on what type of stretch you'd like, we do want to focus on the length of the spine. And then let's engage through those core muscles to roll it on up and step it forward. Returning to mountain pose. Let's move back into that high crescent position. Fingertips onto the chair, left foot steps back. Find your high crescent pose. Feet hip bone distance apart or wider. All 10 toes pointing forward. Let's bend the right knee to stack and track. And then straighten the arms. So you're welcome to keep the hands onto the chair. If you want a little bit more challenge, come into extending those arms forward. So we're hinging forward at the hips, tightening up through the core, and then let's upright the spine, coming into our full high crescent pose. But you are welcome to keep one or even both hands on the chair if the balance feels challenged for today. Breathing here. Nice. Let's turn the palms to face forward. Find that little cactus arms. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, let's twist to the right. So bottom half of the body stays as is. We're just turning the shoulders, the chest, maybe a little of the ribs, a little to the right, a few degrees. challenging the balance, but you're welcome to keep a hand onto the chair if you need. Let's untwist and then release the hands down, step it forward, over to the other side. Right foot steps back. Find high crescent base on this side, feet hip bone distance apart or wider. Bend the left knee to stack, track, and then freeze it there. Strong in the right leg, straighten the arms, shoulders moving down. So strong flat back, little hinge forward. You're welcome to stay here. If you want that little bit more, extend those arms forward first. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale with that strong core and pressing into the left heel, let's rise to our full expression of high crescent pose, or you're just keeping your hands down on the chair for balance if you need it. So find what works best for your body. Feel free to modify your skip, whatever you'd like. And then let's turn the palms to face forward, find cactus arms. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, little twist of the upper half of the body to the left. And you're welcome to do this with one hand on the chair if you need it. Breathing here, finding your balance, enjoying those wiggles, but make sure you're in a safe, upright position. And then let's slowly unwind, come back to center, and then release. Hands down, step it forward, shake it out if you need to. Let's come into a supported forward fold, separating those feet a little bit wider than the hips, and then soft bend in the knees, forearms onto the top of the chair to start, rounding through the spine, getting a little stretch. If it feels good to kind of sway left and right, you can, or if it feels good to release the head down and get a stretch for the neck, you're welcome to do that as well. Find what works best for your body. Take another Ujjayi breath here. Remember to never hold your breath, to always be breathing. That Ujjayi breath as best as you can. And then let's bend those knees. Let's slowly roll it on up. Head is the last thing to come up so we don't get any lightheadedness. And then inhale to circle those arms out and up or forward and up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Right foot stays where it is, left foot steps back, warrior one. So both heels are on the floor, left toes angled to the outside of the chair. Bend the right knee, stack, track, and freeze it. And then when you're ready, straighten the arms. So you're still kind of hinging forward at the hips. And then your choice of how you want to press up to warrior one. You can use your hands onto the chair. If you want that little bit more challenge, extend those arms forward and then continue to lift them as you upright the spine, using the strength of the core. Make sure the lower back is not feeling any discomfort and landing in your warrior one. Remember, the position of the arms is up to you, as long as you can move the shoulders down and feel a lot of space for your neck. So warrior one pose, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, let's release the fingertips down. Inhale, straighten the right leg, power through both thighs without locking out the knees, and then as you exhale, hinge forward at the hips, coming into pyramid pose, your choice of the depth of your pose, as long as it's just a mild sensation of a stretch. Let's have our hands onto the chair, doing a little bit of a push-up. So elbows in, shoulders draw back, bending those elbows until you feel your mild sensation of a stretch. And then as you straighten the arms, the body will lift. So let's start to inhale to bend just a little bit, and then exhale is to straighten. And one more time, still energizing through the legs, shoulders and hips square to the front edge of the chair, and then let's lift. Place a soft bend into that right knee, almost like coming back to our warrior one stance, and then let's step it forward to stand behind the chair. Over to the other side, left foot stays where it is, right foot steps back, warrior one base. So right toes pointing to the outside of the chair, left knee bends, stack, track, and freeze it, strong in the right leg. And then let's straighten the arms, strong in the core, flat back, long spine, and maybe press your way up to warrior one. If you want a little bit more, extend those arms forward first, one or two arms, and then let's use the core to rise on up, reaching your warrior one, shoulders over the hips, tighten up through the core, arms in whatever position feels comfortable to you. Take another round of breath here. Feel the power, the strength of the legs, the strength of the upper back, the core. Let's take another inhale and then exhale. Release, hands down onto the chair, hinging forward at the hips. And then let's start to straighten the left leg, coming into pyramid pose, and then hinge forward at the hips. Your mild sensation of a stretch only along the back of the legs. Hands are on the chair. Feel free to draw the chair a little bit closer if you need. Elbows in. So the elbows are bent. And then let's slowly straighten the arms, lift the chest, and then start to rebend. Hinge forward at the hips to that comfortable stretch. And then let's straighten and bend and straighten and bend. And then let's straighten those elbows, start to bend through the left knee, and then step it forward. Let's come back into that supported forward fold. Separate those feet a little bit wider than the hips, and then forearms onto the top of the chair. If it is okay on your body to go lower, you can, with bended knees, draw the hands to the seat of the chair, or even rest your head on the top of the chair, feeling a stretch. So rounding through the spine, feeling a stretch along the back of the body. And then let's softly bend through those knees, hands onto the top of the chair, elbows in, slow roll it up the spine. And when you get there, let's take a moment in mountain pose. And then from mountain pose, let's place the hands onto the chair. Let's start to widen those feet. Let's come into temple pose. So first, widen the feet, wider than the hips. And then let's draw the heels in, turn the toes out, maybe about 45 degrees to start, plus or minus. And then start to bend those knees. Knees stay atop the ankles, track towards the center of the toes to make sure the knees don't come in. Feel the work it takes. Feel this kind of opening up of the body, of the center part of the body. And then let's open up the arms. So remember, if you do need to keep a hand onto the chair for balance or both, feel free to do so. So let's start to open those arms, any amount, maybe back behind you, comfortable stretch. And then let's straighten the legs and draw the right, I'll mirror you, right arm over the left. Start to bend those knees. Really make sure, if you need to watch, make sure they're tracking towards the center of the toes. Find your temple pose, shoulders over the hips, and then stand up tall and opposite arm on top. Inhale, bend through those knees, open up the arms. Exhale, stand up tall, right arm over the left. And then one more time. Inhale, temple. Exhale, left arm. And then let's open up the arms, relax. Fingertips onto the chair. Let's turn all 10 toes to point forward. Take an inhale. Stay here for the exhale. Hands alongside, so move the chair a little bit closer to you if you need to. Hands are on top of the chair, elbows in, doing those little push-ups that we did earlier from a seated position. So strengthen up through those thighs, and then we'll start to hinge forward at the hips as you keep those elbows alongside and bend through those elbows, strong flat back. And then let's press into the hands. Just use the muscles of the arms and the chest of the shoulders to come up to a standing position. So no work for that lower back. We are tight in the core to maintain that strong flat back. So let's start to bend those elbows. So building strength in the upper half of the body, the shoulders, the arms, and the chest, and slowly press up. You'll feel it in the tricep muscles as well. And let's just do that a few more times. Moving to your rhythm of the breath. And twice more. You can inhale as you hinge forward. Exhale as you rise up. And then one more time. Also getting just a nice easy stretch along the back of the legs. So it doesn't have to go too low. And then let's inhale, let's circle those arms out and up, refresh. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's come into warrior two with your right leg as the lead leg. Lift the right heel, turn the right toes, the right knee to point to the right. Feel this opening of the hip. And then let's start to bend the right knee, stack it and track it. And don't forget to draw your left toes in slightly so that the left foot, the back foot, is about in the same angle as where the hips are pointing. So since the hips aren't perfectly or perpendicular to the long edge of the mat, there's a little bit of a turn. We want that back foot to turn in also, just for the safety of the joints. Keep that right knee stacked, tracked, and frozen the top, the right ankle. And let's open up the arms, 1, 2, or none, and pull the shoulders down. So coming into a strong warrior 2 position, just taking a moment here, breathing. And then from our warrior 2, the body's going to stay the same, but we will draw the arms closer towards each other, coming into eagle arms. So let's start with your right arm is on top. And then eagle position for the arms, either hands onto the shoulders, pulling them down, or start to weave the arms strong in the wrists and those fingers. And if you do need to keep a hand onto the chair, feel free to do so. So working through those legs, finding eagle arms of choice. I'm just going to keep my hands on my shoulders for this one. And then let's slowly unravel, extend out, and then release down. Straighten that right leg, lots of work there. And let's come back to that center wide leg stance. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart and onto the chair. Over to the other side, lift the left heel, open it out. Find that external rotation at the hip. Left toes, left knee point to the left, heel to arch alignment. Draw those right toes in, and then notice kind of the angle of the hips. The hips are kind of pointing a little bit off. So let's draw that back foot to the same angle as the hips. But the shoulders and the chest will square towards the chair. And then when you're ready, when you found the depth of your pose, let's open up the arms, draw the shoulders down, and take a moment here. Feel the strength of the pose, the intensity of the pose, the focus that is required to make sure you stay balanced. And then let's start to draw those arms towards each other. Left arm over the right. Maybe option 1, grabbing the shoulders, drawing them down, something comfortable. Maybe option 2 is eagle arms. And you might notice that the sides of the body are going to have different options. So wherever you are, find what works best for your body, getting a stretch through the upper back and the shoulders. Let's slowly release out and then down. Straighten that left leg. Turn all 10 toes to point forward. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Maybe forearms are onto the top of the chair for this first wide leg forward fold. Move the weight a little bit more towards the balls of the feet so we don't overstretch the backs of the legs, and then just find a depth that works best for your body, where you're getting a nice easy stretch along the back of the legs. And if it feels good to find just a tiny little shift of the hips right and left, feel free to do so, but you can also stay in stillness if you're more comfortable with that stretch. Let's bend those knees with those forearms onto the top of the chair. Bend those knees, engage through the core so you're pulling the belly in so you can draw those heels in, coming back to temple pose. Bending those knees to stack and track. Make sure they're going towards the center of the toes. Hands onto the chair, elbows in, and then let's press into the chair to rise up into our temple pose. Breathing here. And maybe you're extending the arms out. Maybe you're finding cactus arms, pulling the shoulders down. Find what's comfortable for the shoulders. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, upper half of the body twist just a little bit to the right. So it doesn't have to be too far over. We want to make sure we're maintaining this openness of the chest. And then next inhale, come through center. And then exhale, twist and breathe. Find your Ujjayi breath. Feeling those legs work. Let's come back to center. And then straighten the legs, release. Hands down, all 10 toes to point forward. Let's move into triangle pose. Lift your right heel, externally rotate at the hip, right knee, right toes point towards the right. Warrior 2 feet, but the distance of the feet can be a little bit smaller for triangle pose. Shoulders point towards the chair. And then let's move into triangle pose, drawing those hips back and up, reaching your right arm as far towards the right as you can. Feel lots of stretch for the sideways, and then change the position of the arms. You can keep the bottom hand onto the chair, or you can use the back of the hand to press gently to the inside of the leg to find that openness of the chest. Maybe the gaze is forward, or maybe it's up. Finding your triangle pose. Lots of work here, but lots of stretch as well. And then to come out, let's bend through that right knee. You can use your hands to upright the spine, all 10 toes pointing forward. And then let's move over to the other side. So find warrior 2 feet, a little bit closer if you need. Both legs relatively straight. Reach the left arm as far forward where you can no longer reach or to your left. Then you can release hands down, maybe the back of the hand to the inside of the leg or onto the chair. Maybe the opposite arm reaches up or just relax down by your side, whatever feels good. So find your triangle on this pose. Feel all the work and the stretch of this pose. Take another inhale. Stay for the exhale and then bend through that left knee. You can use your hand to assist to come back up, all 10 toes pointing forward. Let's start to heel toe those feet a little bit closer together. Or at least a little bit wider than the hips. Let's come into a supported forward fold. So round through the spine. Find the depth that works best for you. If you'd like to go lower, you can place your hands onto the seat of the chair. Just looking for an easy stretch along the back of the body. And then let's bend through those knees slowly upright. And we'll do a little balance, moving into our quarter moon pose. So step to the side of the chair. And then the foot that is closest to the chair will start to point those toes to point at the chair, and then step the other foot a little bit away, kind of like a mini warrior 2. So soft bend into that knee that is closest to the chair, hand onto the chair. And then we'll slowly start to move the weight into that leg that's closest to the chair, and maybe lift the heel, keep the toes down, or maybe start to lift up. And finding your balance here. So notice if the chest starts to point down towards the chair. We want to turn the chest out and away from the chair as best as you can. Make sure that bottom knee is comfortable. Let's release those toes down, step it back, almost like a mini warrior 2. We'll do that one more time. Start to shift a little bit towards the chair. Most of the weight into that leg closest to the chair. Maybe you're staying here. Want to make sure you feel safe and secure. Maybe you're lifting the leg. Maybe you're extending the arm out. Finding where your balance is for today. Working those strong leg muscles. And then slowly bend through that standing leg. Release it back. Let's move over to the other side. I'm just going to shift this chair over here. So now the other leg, we'll start by turning those toes. Find that external rotation at the hip. Toes and knees point towards the chair. Step that opposite foot back. Mini warrior 2. Find that opening knee stack and tracks towards the center of the toes to start. And then let's start to stand tall in the leg closest to the chair. Start to straighten it any amount. Maybe the toes stay on, or maybe you're working with the balance and lifting the foot off the chair. Or off of the floor. Nice. And just take a moment here, feeling those wiggles, and then softly release back down. Mini warrior 2 stance. And let's move one more time. This is called our quarter moon pose. So shift the weight into that leg closest to the chair. Maybe stay with the toes down. Maybe lift the foot off. Maybe lift the leg a little bit higher. Maybe open the arm. Maybe up, maybe down, whatever feels good to your body. And then slowly release it back. Come to stand. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Nice work, everyone. Let's do some grounding, some stretching poses. So please carefully have a seat in your chair, and I will meet you there. All right, so we're sitting a little bit closer to the front edge of the chair, and let's separate the feet so they feels pretty wide. Easy stretch on those inner thighs. And let's take the hands onto the thighs, right above the knee with the fingers in, and then pull the shoulders down and kind of relax through the elbows. The elbows can lift a little bit, but we don't want the shoulders to lift. So we'll take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, let's come into a little twist. So we'll start to twist, turn the shoulders and the chest to your left, and you're starting to straighten your right arm a little bit so you get an easy stretch, and you can even drop your right shoulder to the inside, little twist here. And then let's come back to center, sitting up tall, lengthen through the spine, and then over to the other side. Just an easy twist, something that feels good, and getting a little stretch through those inner legs. Let's come back to center. One more time on each side, easy twist. Inhale to center, exhale over to the other side. And then let's come back to center and start to heel toe those feet back towards hip bone distance apart. Let's straighten your right leg forward, lift the toes, take an inhale. As you exhale, hands on the opposite leg, hinge forward at the hips. We're going to pulse through this 2 more times, then hold. So inhale is to lift. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hinge forward and hold here. So we want to make sure that's just that mild sensation of a stretch only. Lift those right toes up towards the ceiling so you can feel a stretch even through the back of the lower leg. And keeping that long spine, strong flat back, but you can place a considerable amount of weight into your hands. And then let's press our way up over to the other side. Have a soft bend in the knee, in that left knee. Left toes point up the whole time. Hands onto the right thigh. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, hinge forward until you find your mild sensation of a stretch. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hinge. One more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hinge and hold. And breathe. Find your Ujjayi breath. Relax those shoulders down. Just find what feels good to your body. And then let's slowly press our way back up. Rebend the knee, cross the right thigh over the left. If this feels too uncomfortable, you can cross at the ankles. So we're sitting up tall. Take an inhale. Then as you exhale, easy twist over to the right. Keeping the head above the tailbone, so an upright seated twist, and just looking to a comfortable point. If you want an extra stretch for the neck and it is okay for your body to do so, you can start to look a little bit back behind you, but just feel it out, going slowly. And then we'll slowly unwind, come back to center. Take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, we'll fold a little bit forward. Make sure you're not compressing through the front part of the torso, and the hands are on the thighs for support, and you can even round through the spine a little bit. So you're stretching out through the lower back, and you're also stretching out through the hips to a comfortable point. So it's a very gentle hip opener. But the weight of our upper half of the body is in our hands, so it's not on the lower spine. And then press your way to sit back upright, upright the spine. Let's move over to the other side. Cross your left thigh over the right or the ankle. Sit up tall, head over the tailbone. Inhale, and then exhale, easy twist over to your left. Looking as far back as is comfortable, maybe getting an extra stretch for the neck if that feels good. Still finding your Ujjayi breath. And then let's slowly unwind and twist. Come back to center, hands onto the thighs. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, fold it forward. You can round through the spine. Maybe drop the head down, but the hands are very active. Shoulders are pulling down. So the hands are pressing into the thighs comfortably so that there's no weight on the lower spine. And get an easy stretch for those hips. And then let's slowly upright. Find that tall way of sitting. Release. Come into one more stretch for the neck. Let's extend your right arm out to the side. Turn the thumb to point down and either hand onto the hip. If it is okay to draw it a little bit further back behind you. So find what feels comfortable for the shoulder. Move the shoulders down. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, let's lean the head very gently to your left. And remember to skip if you have any concerns with the neck. So you should feel just a nice stretch through the neck, an opening for the chest and the shoulder, but make sure you feel this feels good. So we never want to force ourselves into a stretch. And feel the body start to relax a little bit more as we are slowly approaching Shavasana. And then very carefully, let's upright the head, release the arm slowly back from behind you over to the other side, left arm out, thumb down, either hand onto the hip or start to thread it a little bit back behind you to a comfortable point where you feel a nice opening for the shoulder. Take an inhale, head over tailbone to start, and then exhale, we'll lean the head over to the right. Feeling just a nice stretching sensation, mild sensation. That feels good. Take your Ujjayi breath, maybe deepen it, maybe even gently sighing out the mouth to help relax the body a little bit more. And then as you're ready, let's slowly upright the head. Gently release the arm out from back behind you. Let's scooch back into our chair. Lean it back. Open up the chest. Maybe arch, gentle arch to the spine. Maybe arms out or down, or if it's comfortable, you can interlace the fingers back behind you. Head is wherever feels comfortable. Take one more inhale and then exhale, release. All right. Let's set up for our final pose of Shavasana. So get yourself in a comfortable position. You can close the eyes or have a soft gaze down. Turn the palms of the hands up to feel more energy for your day, or palms to face down for a little bit more grounding for your mind, for your body, for your heart. Let's take an inhale here. Exhale out the mouth. And I will play the sound of wind chimes for your Shavasana. If you do find that the mind is wandering a lot, feel free to immerse your mind into the sound of the chimes. And we'll be here for a few minutes. And slowly begin to deepen your breath. Send some movement into your fingers, into your toes. And then let's stack the hands atop our heart and take a moment to feel gratitude to yourself for coming to your practice, or feel gratitude for anything that you are grateful for in your life. Let's draw the palms of the hands together at our heart center. Maybe recalling that intention or that dedication. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice. As always, it is a privilege and a joy. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I hope you are continuing to be healthy and stay safe. And I will see you next time.